Hey everybody, Edgy Berserker here with another unboxing. Last Scrawler box. Until, of course, I get a subscription again. Until then, though, with the Canadian dollar and the British pound, that could be a while. Anyways, we're gonna open up this bad boy, see what's up. I think this is July's, so we'll go from there. Of course, I record the unboxing right away, and then I think I got a month or two to do the rest, but that's fine. That's fine. Anyways, let's check out what's inside. All right, so she be opened. Let's see what's inside. I'm kind of standing. Oh, I do see a little bit of a paintbrush in there. Of course, this is the July. Okay, we might have something to do with ink or watercolor, just from the hint of the artwork. And this artwork is by, whoops, I was doing it upside down, a Christina Kwan. So yeah, good job. All right, and okay, might see something to do with acrylic inks maybe, because the first thing is acrylic paper. I have never used this stuff. Let's see how that feels. Ooh, there's like a texture on. Okay. Now I'm gonna move this off camera because. All right, so let's see what's next. The sticker, of course, and the challenge is in bloom. I could have some fun with that, I feel. Okay, and the snack part of it is called Hidden Apple Center Shock by Chup Chup. Chup, whatever. I think that makes those things. And of course, I got a Major Brushes paintbrush. Honestly, I could use more of those. Okay. Oh, graphics fine liners. Okay, we got the graphics fine liners. 2mm, 4mm, 8mm, and the brush. I've used these before. I believe these ones are not waterproof. I could be wrong. Hold on. Yep, I was right. Water-based ink. So we gotta make sure we don't let those hit water. And non-clogging, pigmented, water-resistant, liquid acrylic. Interesting. I've used acrylic inks before in my life, so there's nothing that I've used them before. I just haven't used them a lot recently. I mean, I did buy like an acrylic ink of gold, which is like the goldest gold I've ever owned, and it's quite nice for accents. But yeah, this could be an interesting one. I could figure it out. They got the primaries in there by the looks of it. And I'm just gonna cut to the pens, because I did not do this. Alright, I opened up the box of pens, so they're like this. They're like this. Try not to cover them up, Edgy. Okay? And, like for instance, that's the brush nib. Beaut. This is gonna be the teeniest one. I've actually used finer, but that's cool, because anything finer than 3mm, I tend to break. Oh, interesting enough, though, like, this is 2mm, 4mm, and 8mm. I've never used a 2mm, I've only used a 3mm, and a 1mm. And I've never used a 4mm, I've only used 3 or 5. So that's interesting, actually. So this should be an interesting box. Yeah. I will, obviously be recording this in the future, because right now I am obviously doing this in the past, so I can just have the unboxing part. And to mill around and think about what I'm going to do with these inks. Because all I get is, yeah, it looks like I get CMYK, or, sorry, I only get yellow, blue, and red with white. So, no black, but I mean, we can mix that, so it'd be muddy, but we can still mix it. It's fine. Yeah, so, well, we got black with inks, so never mind. All right, everyone, we'll just switch over the drawing and we'll figure out what we're going to do with the supplies we were given. Alright, so I started to do some swatches, because you know what I forgot to do last time I did one of these boxes? A swatch test. So I used one of the sheets of paper that I was given with the acrylic, and I did notice that these do mix quite a bit with getting some odd colors. And yeah, I was impressed. The white works better as a mixing medium. Of course, there's the pens. I'm just showing that they were not waterproof. So I had some trouble getting inspired. I'm not gonna lie. Because I was just like, I don't know. I'm not feeling anything from these supplies right now. Then I decided, wait a minute. Because first I was going to do a parrot. Because the colors were like, they're kind of like a parrot. And I just like, I'm going to draw a parrot. So then I'm like, well, okay, hold on. It's October. And these colors sure are bright and summery. But let's go Spoopy month. And I just thought, I could make Pyro Jack from like the Shimigami Tensei series, Persona series and whatnot. Or the little summon demon guy, Pyro Jack. Let's just do him. So I decided, yeah. So I didn't have the original sketching process with the parrot in the first version of Pyro Jack. But I'm still using the same paper, but I don't know if you can see it on there. My monitor's kind of bright, but there are a little bit of pencil lines from the old ones still on there. But yeah, so I went in with the inks, and I was just like, I'm just going to kind of treat this like a permanent watercolor. Because, boy howdy, do these dry really well. Because they do. They're very waterproof. They were not lying when they said they're waterproof. One thing I wish I did, though, was go a little thicker with some of my mixtures. Because, well, we won't see it here, but you'll see it later when it's dried. That, it's a little streaky. But it kind of adds a charm to it. I mean, the more I'm looking at this finished piece right now, the more I'm really liking it. So, yeah. Now, question remains, because you saw the boxes, like, that's a small amount of stuff that was included this time around. Is it worth it? And I hate to say it, but I don't think it was worth it. Because the little bottles, the sample ones, you know what? Even though in the closing I'm going to say like maybe $10, $12 or something like that. I think something like that would even be $8. And when your Canadian dollar, I'm going to say this a lot, when the Canadian dollar is like, from $20, 20 British pounds to 50 Canadian dollars, you got to cut some losses. I gotta say though, I'm happy though that I'm like in the sense not sponsored for this, only because then I can actually give you my honest opinion about some supplies that I was given. Now that said though, I'm not saying Scrawler box is bad, because they're not. They're pretty good. I still follow them on Instagram. I get to see what's on monthly, and there's like they did an oil pastel one recently, which I probably would have dug a lot because I really like oil pastels actually. And seeing which brand they used and how much those costed Canadian, yo, that would have been worth it. But yeah, I decided, okay, you know what? Even though it's Spoopy on this art, let's make the background bright green. So I mixed like the yellow and the green together. I got this cool ass like Slimer green. I guess I'll use a friggin' Ghostbusters reference. He's Slimer green, and I realized, oh yeah, it's little pom-pom things. So, I was just adding a little bit of like, as you can see, I added a little bit of yellow highlight to stuff, kind of just made it pop a little more, added a little more layer. I should have done that more with the cape though. That was my big old fault there. And then I just started adding the line art, because I'm like, okay, to make this pop, because this happened with me and the acrylic markers, cross hatching, it works. And it was difficult to get like the line art going, only because the paper has like a canvas type ridge to it, so you kind of follow along the lines. And of course, as I always like to mention, this whole time I was watching Robot Co-op's live stream on Twitch. Highly recommend them. They're great. Great bunch of guys, very creative. It was a lot of fun, and it's just nice to also have in the background just support. So just thought I'd give a shout out to Robot Co-op. And of course, I'm here just adding more line art. I went for like a thinner one to add some cross hatching. But then, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta feel a little fancy. What I mean by that is, I decided, hey, let's do what I do with watercolor watercolor pencils. Let's add some splatter effects. Oh baby. And I was worried because I was like, I don't know if this is working out. And so I blended some in when I'm like, oh, that looks weird. I also blended out some of the marker, not the marker, but like the fine liners too, to add a little bit of black. Took away some. What you didn't see pictured was me pat drying this with the towel later. And then it kind of fixed what I had happening there. And here's the final result. Isn't he beautiful? I'm really happy with how he turned out. He looks great. Pyrojack, he's adorable. Hee Ho. I mean, I'm a Drac Frost person. But you know what? Let's go to Future Edgy and see what she has to say. Okay, and that is the Scrawler box, July edition. I'm kind of behind, I admit. Just making sure I check the book. Yep, July. I admit, at first when I got this, I was like, I don't know if I feel inspired by these materials. Because all we really got was acrylic paper over here. You can't really see it, but whatever. The fine liners and the inks. And I admit, I was like, I don't know if this was worth the $50 Canadian. And I don't think it was worth the $50 Canadian from like the materials you got. However, the materials themselves were actually great. I enjoy them. I've used these graphics fine liners before. I really enjoy them. Because, for instance, when I tested them out to use them, I did some, like, sketching, like, tests, I guess is a good way to put it, with these. So, for instance, I have, like, colored ones. So, I did, like, this with the red graphics pen, and then this one with the blue one. And it was just kind of like a cool little... And this one I did with the black, actually, and then some just watercolor pencils, but... That's beyond the point. Those I've done, like, use the pens for. They're pretty good. They're water-based, so just be careful. But I did use it in here and a few spots here to just kind of get some shading in anyways. So that kind of worked out. I gotta say, going on this paper, the pens were very juicy and they followed the track. That's why a few times you see me veering off because of that. The inks are very vibrant and nice. I've used acrylic ink before. I like using acrylic ink a lot, actually. The only one I've actually used is the Talons, I want to say. And I think Golden. I think those are... And Winsor Newton's actually not really acrylic ink, so I'm not including that. But yeah, I've used those before. I kind of use them like watercolors, but they're just permanent watercolors, really, when all said and done. I have to say, from the 4 colors that you give you do get a good variety of stuff. I was doing like little tests and I'm like, well, crap. Getting a lot of colors out of just these 4 things, and it's not even the primaries. I was surprised I was able to get purple out of these 2 here, but here we are. We did it. So yeah, overall, I wish the exchange rate was better. Scrawler box is a good box. Not sponsored. I'm going to have to point that out. But when you're Canadian and the price for exchange rate is pretty high, I'm going to have to say it's kind of disappointing because these inks, this pack would maybe be worth $16 or something like that. These here I know are about $12, maybe less actually, because we have these here in Canada. And the paper would probably be like another, like, I don't know, 8 sheets, so probably like $5 or something like that. But even then, it's worth it for if you're paying the actual British pound price. But Canadian price, nah, bruh. $50 too much, but that's okay because they are good materials though. You could probably replicate something like this with like the materials and just, you know, do the thing. Now, I don't think though we have magic color here in Canada though. This is like one of their fade resistant, waterproof when dry. It's true. Now I gotta say, yeah, these inks are very good though. I will state that wholeheartly. Don't have access to these here, so if I ever do see them out in the wild, though, I might consider them. They're pretty good. Yeah, otherwise though, overall, good box. Just I don't know if it was worth the $50 Canadian is all. Either way though, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support, everyone. Patreon, I'm putting you to the left this time. And yeah, everyone on there, thank you so much. This includes people on the YouTube membership on my main channel, my main gaming channel. So yeah, definitely thank you so much for everything. Thanks for watching. Stay creative. I'm gonna kind of do Spoopy month with because I recorded like the intro like way back when I got the box in July, and well, the box arrived in August, I should say, but I recorded it way back then, and this bad boy here is done to here in October. So we're gonna continue Spoopy month here. You know, we gotta continue Spoopy month. Either way, though, I still got a August and July Scrawler box or up crate. Sorry, so I gotta work on those. So I'm gonna kind of make this month the extravaganza of just drawing spoopy things. I had to draw Pyro Jack. He's the best. Anyways, everyone, again, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, keep drawing, keep creative, and I will see y'all later. Bye now.